welcome back to Jeff's Galley. Today I'm going to give you a little demonstration on how to make potato rosti. Back in the old days, when I worked in the French restaurants, we referred to it as a potato galette, which is not accurate, it's not even close. Potato rosti, which I'll show you today, is of Swiss origin. And what I have is we have our potatoes. This is non-traditional, but I'm going to add some scallion. I usually do fine julienne leek. All I had was scallions today. We're going to use that. Vegetable oil, salt and pepper, and 2 non-stick pans. If you had well-seasoned pans, just use basic saute pans. Those would be acceptable as well. I find the non-stick pans are just easier to work with. And we have a moderate heat on right now. We're going to turn it up much higher. First things we're going to do is julienne our potatoes. This is a French mandolin, and it does require a little bit of skill to use these things, and you need to be respectful. You can get hurt with it very quickly. This is a Japanese mandolin, much cheaper, and in my opinion, much more dangerous. I've seen much more injuries on this one than I have on these. I like to use a little bit of protection when I'm doing this, and here we go. All right. Now you want to mix it. You don't want all these laid out straight like that. You need air in between them, so you want them kind of random. I'm going to season it with salt and pepper, somewhat generously. And toss. Mix it all up. All right, now I'm going to crank up the heat. We're using just plain vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever, neutral oil with a high smoking temperature. We're not going to get these pans smoking hot, but you want the oil to ripple. So when you add the potato to the pan, you're going to hear that shh, and immediately get some sort of caramelization on the potato. And as you can see, I'm using a generous amount of oil. Now all this oil, you're not going to be digesting all this oil. It's simply to get even cooking caramelization on the potato, crispiness, and then at the end of the whole thing, we're going to put them onto this rack. Now this serves 2 purposes. It's going to allow the oil to separate from the potato while the potato is very hot, straight out of the pan. It's also going to allow it to cool down without creating any moisture underneath it, and allow it to remain crispy. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Add your potato, evenly distributed. These are rather large potatoes. I may get a 3rd one out of this. Okay, so I have filled the pans. As I said before, traditionally it's just potato. Somewhere along the line I decided I liked leek or scallion in the middle of it. I just use raw scallion, raw leek. essentially what's going to cook this thick potato is steam. And that's why it's important to toss these all together randomly. You don't want it blocking the airflow or the steam that's flowing up from the bottom. This is what's going to cook the potato thoroughly. And then we'll put the remaining potato on top of that scallion or leek, whatever you're using. Okay, we're getting there. Now, I've got a bit of experience at this. A couple different ways you're going to have to flip it over at a certain stage. There's a couple of different ways you can go about doing that. And that pan was too hot. I'm not happy with that. This is one method. Now, this is an old range, it's an old boat, and each one of these burners is completely different and unique. That's a little bit better. I'll show you the other method other than flipping it for if you're a beginner. It does take a little getting used to. I think we're there. It's important not to rush the process. You need to make sure that you have a good seal, or like brown caramelization before you attempt to flip it. Otherwise, the chances are it's all just going to fall apart on you. Things. Potato number one. Once I do finish these, spill them out. I'm just going to take you on a quick little walk, show you where this kitchen's located. As I mentioned before, we are in quarantine, self-imposed quarantine here in West Palm Beach on a boat. So this has been my life for the last, trapped on this boat, if you will. 3 weeks now since we got back from the Bahamas. There you have it. Okay, quick little tour. This is the main salon. It's a dining table, which is very seldom used because the guests typically love dining outdoors. Right now we are not in guest mode, strictly crew on board. This is our neighborhood, Rybovich Marina, West Palm Beach. These are our neighbors. Big boats are the opposite direction. Give you a little tour, I guess. We are a 50-meter vessel, 850 ton. And I just noticed that I'm at 20 minutes already. So that was quite a long video. I apologize for that. Take you up to the top deck, give you a little 360, and we are done with. That's our lovely stewardess from the wonderful country of France. It's my girl Laura. And this is where we get to hang out when the guests are not on board. And there you have it, Jeff's World. All right, hope this was educational and not too long. Peace, be safe, stay tuned for more. Cheers.